Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I have an exciting new MOC to share with you guys. So without any further ado, let's get into this. So earlier this summer, I ordered this logging railway set from the second Bricklink designer program, and I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do with it when it came here. During that time, I also purchased the Lego A-frame cabin, and I had all these Lego sets coming, and I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do with them. And I saw this link on Rebrickable from MOC builder Gavizon, I think is how you pronounce his name. But anyway, he had a nice little nature display MOC that he created, and I used that as my inspiration to build this. So I ordered a bunch of different pieces from WeBrick to build this base, and basically using all the parts that came from the idea from the Rebrickable MOC, I made my own little camping theme. And basically here was the result. So I have this really nice little camping setup with the train in the background, so it gives it this nice little nature mountain railway scene, and I really enjoy how it came out. And plus it has a whole bunch of different areas that I can kind of change and modify as I get new builds and new sets. So I'm really happy with how this came all together. And I'm going to kind of walk you through the individual pieces of it and show you where I've kind of made some modifications and stuff like that. And so I was able to incorporate the bridge that came with the logging railway. I changed out the little generator that was on the flat car with the logging railway. I just thought it looked kind of out of place. I get why it was there. It was kind of a placeholder for like a power functions in case you wanted to power this model up. I didn't, because obviously I only have space for static dioramas. So I put this little Caterpillar 22 model, and this I found on Rebrickable from Donger Aldo is the name of the MOC creator. And I think it just really works with the overall logging theme. Like I could really see this in an old steam narrow gauge like logging operation. This would have been something to haul logs back and forth. So this I thought was a great addition to the little railway. I also, you'll notice that the train is on the back, and that is by design. I figured I could have the engine pushing the train rather than pulling it, because of the size restrictions for my display here, that the train would have been mostly hidden in the mountain itself, and the logging car was probably arguably my least favorite car in the whole lineup. So put half of it in the tunnel. You're really still getting to see the majority of the model still, and you get to see all the wonderful details of the steam locomotive and the caboose still. And that was really my goal with that. Plus, at some point, I'm going to be adding lights to both the caboose and the locomotive on top of the lights I've already got wired in. So once it's all done, I think it'll look really nice together, and it'll kind of light one half of the layout a little bit better. I also modified the bridge to be a straight build rather than the natural curve that the model is intended to have, and worked on bridge supports to kind of more naturally flow into the mountain. And the mountain itself, I had to modify to not only build a tunnel, but incorporate itself into the bridge and flowing downward. So that had to have a lot of changes from the original inspiration. And I tried my best to incorporate hidden little details like the perished hiker. I had a couple of minifigures from some of the minifigure series, like the Indian Chief. Put him down there. I felt like that was a good use of that. And then as you go over here, you've got Johnny Thunder climbing the wall on one of his mini builds from the last City series. That, if you watch one of my last videos, I reviewed that. I had that model sitting around, so that was a great way to kind of incorporate it into a build. And then kind of walking your way from this corner, you've got a little campfire with some seating. The little guy is having a hot dog on a stick. I'm going to light this up eventually, or maybe change the way the fire looks over time. And then you've got this nice little river scene. The river runs underneath the bridge, which I really loved that fact. Like, I was able to have water coming through, and that kind of gives a purpose. Not only the fact that the railway has to extend up to get into the mountain, but has to cross a little bit of a water feature. And then as you move down, you got somebody fishing, and they've got a little basket with fish. Also right next to them, there's a little walkway. You've got somebody taking photos of the autumn leaves. This guy down here chopping a little firewood. And then you've got the A-frame cabin itself kind of nestled back here in the trees. And one of the big things I really, really enjoyed about the entire setup was the level of depth I was able to achieve by staggering all the different trees. And it really gives this model just so many different angles at which you can look at this and enjoy it. And it really makes the scene really, have that sense of depth, even though the model itself is only a couple feet wide. And then obviously you've got the cabin right here. And then I incorporated one of the Volkswagen models I've had sitting on a shelf, and I just thought the color really kind of popped with the rest of the build. And speaking of light, so I told you I was going to light up this. I've already wired this one up with an Light My Bricks kit. If I hit the power button, their new LMB 2.0 series, which they have now instructions where you can build the lights in as you build the model. I thought that was really, really helpful, and it made a much cleaner end result. Their new wiring kit, even though it's pricey, I think it's worth it because it was able to, they've hid the wires so much better than they used to do. Anybody has built with the Light My Bricks kits before, their connection ports had a lot of adhesives that just never really stuck very well. This one, they've done away with that. They've gone to more brick built based connection ports that you can actually stick into the Lego models. I mean, it was high time they did that. They've always had good quality lighting kits in my opinion, but the adhesives were always a big miss for me. And people like Brickloot and stuff had already kind of come around to that idea that they needed to have stud-based connection ports, and it always made much cleaner end results. That's why I've always used Brickloot in the past. I see they're kind of getting out of their Light Links kits right now for the individual builders, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Light My Bricks can do in the future. But like I said, I'm going to plan to light this up and then kind of bring a little bit of light over here. Now, I've also left a little bit of space for future expansion in this area. So I bought the new camping set from the third Bricklink designer series. So it's going to have a little camper and stuff, and I really can't wait for that to come in, even though I'm going to have to wait till March. So I'm going to set the camper up by the river, I think, and then maybe spread some of the stuff throughout. I've also got a couple different mock builds I want to do that maybe we'll switch out the vehicle or something like that coming forward. I've got some new wheels coming from GT Korea cars, but this is basically an overview of what we've got. I mean, you have to let me know what you guys think of this one, because this is a little different than what I'm normally used to making. Normally, you guys know that I'm all about my automotive themed builds, and this one was just a fun departure from what I'm used to doing, and I think it came out really, really well. I enjoy getting to just kind of look at this one, and like I said, nature isn't normally something I'm used to kind of building, but I don't know, I just really enjoy this. It kind of just puts me in a relaxed mood getting to look at this one because it's such a peaceful scene. And like I said, there's little details that I was able to add, and it's just kind of a fun build versus some of my other ones, which were more based in reality. And like I said, let me know what you guys think. But until we have the next video come out, that's all I've got for updates right now. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you haven't already, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up and a comment just to let me know your thoughts. Until the next video, we'll see you guys later. Take care.